A young man goes missing from his home in Washington, D.C. Days later, his vehicle is found across the country, in Wyoming of all places. Some believe that he was on a journey to meet his hero, Kanye West, and yet, months later, he remains missing. Today we're taking a look at what happened to Davante Richardson. Hello my friends, let's dive into today's case, one that I haven't seen a whole lot of coverage for, unfortunately. Davante Richardson is a 28-year-old man. He was living in Washington, D.C. with some of his family, and on July 20th, he goes missing. That's the last time that they see him. He's reported as missing on the 22nd, and then days later, on the 27th, police identify a missing vehicle in Greybull, Wyoming, over 1,600 miles away, and they determine eventually that this vehicle belonged to Davante. So once Davante's Jeep is found in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, a couple miles outside of this very small town, the authorities there get in touch with the Washington D.C. authorities, and the investigation begins. There is effort by foot, by drone, by horse, by other advanced technologies to find him. The entire area is scoured very closely. There are some initial hang-ups, however. The Washington, D.C. investigators wanted an exact address of where Davante's Jeep was found, and something like that was not available. That's largely because the Jeep was found literally out in the middle of the country, and if you've spent any time in Wyoming, you know how open the spaces can be. There was no address to give them. This day, months later, Davante has not been found. No body's been found. He's not returned home. There's no known cell phone activity. There's no known financial activity on his part. The vehicle was believed to contain his cell phone and laptop. So the question you might be asking is, how did Davante Richardson go missing from Washington, D.C., only days later to have his vehicle show up in the middle of nowhere, Greybull, Wyoming? Davante had numerous hobbies, interests, and pursuits in his life, and one of them was music. He wanted to be a music producer, and one of his heroes, or one person that he considered to be his friend, was Kanye West, even though the two had never met before. It is believed that when Davante went missing, he had sent a message to his family letting them know that he was going to go meet up with his friend, in this case assumed to be Kanye West. You may remember that Kanye West purchased a large ranch, the Monster Lake Ranch, in Wyoming in the last year or two, and Davante's vehicle was actually found within about 15 miles of Kanye West's ranch. But based on the message that he leaves his family and the location that the vehicle is found in, the easy assumption is that Davante was heading out to meet Kanye West. Now, you have to understand that he was at one point a manager of a local grocery store. Due to the events of the last year, that chain of stores has closed down. He was let go. An ex-girlfriend described him briefly as depressed. However, his family believes that he was in good spirits and he wanted to pursue his music career. They believe that he may have set out on a venture to go meet with Kanye West and show him music or something of that like. However, when asked about it, Mr. West denied he had ever seen Davante, had never heard of him, never met him at all. There's no evidence to suggest that Davante actually got to the ranch or ever made it there, even though his vehicle was found in a pretty close proximity of it. Now, this is all back in late July, my friends. Now it's been over half a year later. Nothing's been found. There's no evidence that Davante has ever been seen or heard from. There's no activity that we can objectively point to. So what happened to Davante Richardson? I will be updating this case as soon as any new information breaks. You don't want to miss a thing. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. As you might know, some of these videos pose content that is not always ad friendly, and because of that, I have to thank my patrons so much for their support of this channel, even when the content that we want to create is not always the most appropriate stuff. You guys help me out, and you can click the link in the description of this video if you would like to become a patron as well. It's greatly appreciated. My friends, I hope you're having an amazing day, and I hope that you're staying cold or warm or whatever suits you the best, wherever you are, whether in Wyoming or DC or somewhere further away. And please share this story and keep Davante and his family in your thoughts and your prayers, and I will talk to you again. And as always, adios, amigos. Famous. Not famous.